It is me.
That is you.
It's the Miller Time Podcast.
It's the Miller Time Podcast.
People of color redefining success.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We hope you all are doing well. We hope you all cozy and comfortable on this beautiful March
30th.
April.
No, March 30th.
April 30th.
No.
March 30th. You're right. March 30th, the end of March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of you are probably frustrated because you didn't get to have your March Madness because basketball was canceled.
Oh.
In fact, everything is canceled.
Yeah. If you don't know, and I'd be surprised if you don't know, but most of the world knows that we are in a state of a pandemic.
This podcast is going to go down in history. They're going to find this podcast buried underneath some like ancient rubble, and they're going to listen to it, and they're going to be like, yo,
this is an ancient artifact.
Did you know back in 2020, they actually were shut down and they stayed in their house for months and no one went outside because of some type of pandemic?
Yeah, that's where we're living, guys.
That's the world we're living in. So if you didn't know, if you're somewhere in the world and you're listening to this podcast and you didn't know,
you're like, what? Pandemic? Where?
Yes. The world has been shut down by COVID-19, also known as Corona.
Yes.
In the urban setting, it would be Rona.
Anti-Rona.
Rona.
Yeah, so we're in a state of kind of an uncertain and scary time for some people where this virus has spread, where it's caused a lot of sickness and death for some people, and for others it's caused people to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
People have gotten their hours reduced at work, laid off, but it seemed like it's put most people kind of in a state of panic and disarray.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that there were a lot of plans made and a lot of ideas thought of that people wanted to get done in 2020. When you thought about 2020 in January, when the beginning of the year came and the ball dropped, and you thought about 2020, did you think you would be locked in your house waiting for the world to find a cure to
this illness?
This human virus. And I say human virus as a way of resistance against oppression or racism or xenophobia.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, against our Chinese brethren. Yeah,
it's really sickening to see how some people have treated our Asian brothers and sisters and discriminated against those, and thinking that a virus came from one race. And so we just want to extend love and support to all of our Asian brothers and sisters who are facing racism and discrimination because of their skin. Yeah. And we stand with you, and our prayers are with you and your families.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to show support to anybody who has been feeling any racial tension or even a sense of lack of safety because of maybe the way people are treating you during this time. And we hate that even all over the world that anybody who would think that that people of the United States of America are hateful towards any type of group of people. We want you to know that as Black folk who have struggled against oppression and against racial discrimination, even amongst our skin color, that we understand and we stand with you in solidarity. So yes.
Yeah. So we really wanted to do this podcast as a way of speaking to what the reality of everyone is going through right now, and to offer some hope in the midst of this time. There's a lot of talk about what should I be doing during this time of the Rona? Like, what does success mean for me right now? Should I be writing that book? Should I be working on all these things that I haven't had time to work on? What should I be doing in order to take full advantage of all this time that I have?
Yeah, and we would love to. We want to acknowledge the fact that with the Miller Time Podcast, we're all about people of color redefining success, and we realize that we often talk about taking advantage of the opportunity to explore purpose and to surround yourself around the right people, and creating experiences that will spark new beliefs and empowering beliefs, and really tapping into your flow so that you can find success. And we often talk about this proactive approach to success and being active in doing these different things. And that may leave you with a message that you always have to be busy, you always have to be working, you always have to be on the grind, you always have to be busting your butt so that you can be successful. And so that may be true to our lives and also in some extent maybe even your lives, and recognizing that may be true to some extent, but realizing that this time that we've been going through, something that I've been struggling with and dealing with during this time is really thinking about, I hear the voice of like Tony Robbins, who always talks about how it's always in the time of hardship. It's always when the stocks are going down. It's in the time of winter. It's when everybody's struggling that the true leaders step up and they see an opportunity and they create this business that makes massive change in the society. And that's when millionaires or billionaires are made because of this opportunity. And I find myself during this time when we're not allowed to go to work. And we've shared this before. Not only do we do this podcast, and we got a lot to do with this podcast, but also having our own business, with me being a director of our programs for even my job, and Courtney going through her doctorate program right now. There's a lot going on. And so now being at home and having this opportunity to be at home, I feel this burden or this burning in me, this yearning in me to do something amazing. That there's an opportunity right now that in the midst of all this happening, people losing their jobs, businesses shutting out, there's going to be some type of business that is going to rise up, that is going to change the way we do life, because they're going to take advantage of this opportunity. And I get really excited about that. I'm like, yo, that's got to be me. I got to be the one to come up with that idea. I got to be the one who really does this new thing. And as I've been pushing myself to think about what are all these different things I want to do, and I've come to this place that I've had to recognize and realize for myself that doesn't have to be me right now. Like, yes, I could bust my butt right now and try to come up with some new idea, some new business. I could take advantage of the opportunity that everybody's going to be at home right now, sitting on their couch with some type of screen in front of them. And so I can try to come up with some type of new content to get in front of people. And I could create some type of business that meets people where they are. And I could do all these different things. And that would be great. But right now I have an amazing opportunity to spend time with my wife. And am I willing to redefine success for myself right now? That do I want to bust my butt and come up with some new type of business and hopefully make a whole lot of money, or do I want to spend time with my wife and enjoy and do things that I don't normally get to do on a weekday because I'm commuting to work and at my job and not getting home until later.
Right. And it's so hard, I think, especially something Patrick was saying in a session we were having with a client earlier was about, like, especially as like a Black man, there's no break. There's no rest time. Right. Like, this is something where your whole life you've had to hustle to prove yourself. Like, your value is often in the labor that you provide to our nation. And so what does it mean to be in the midst of a state of uncertainty in our nation, in a sense of disarray of, I don't know if I can even be around other people because you about to get me infected. And to take this opportunity to rest, I think is such a powerful, it's a movement. And
definitely.
As I think about what does it mean to like take full advantage of the COVID-19 and being at home, working at home, or being in Zoom meetings all day, or being able to be in my PJs all day. Like, there's so many things where, I'm as being in the therapy field and being in the psychology field, there's a lot of feelings that are coming up for people. There's a lot of, I don't know what the future is holding. I can't plan what next week is going to hold. Like, when are schools going to be back? When is there going to be structure back in my life? And for myself, I'm such a like go, 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 to-do list, planning, calendar, Google Calendar. Like, there's so many things where I live for tomorrow. I live based off the things that gratify me because I can get them done. And then with there not being much to get done right now, besides I still have to show up for my school Zoom meetings and see my clients virtually, it's like I have a lot of free time. Like, I get to like sleep in way later than I've ever been able to. I get to just walk to the other room and make food for myself. I get to be with my husband working from home together and just know that he's in the other room. I can hear his voice when usually we're not able to talk until the end of the day because we have long days. Like, there's so many things that this virus has made me aware of that were easy to take advantage of, I think. And so it makes me, for someone who is the most perfectionist, I need to get stuff done now quickly. It makes me so happy and so at ease and at peace within myself to feel like there's nothing I need to get done right now. Like, that at least has to get done. Or there's nothing that, like, usually I'm always like, Patrick, we have to do this. Okay, come on. We got to hurry up and get ready for church. Okay, hurry up. Come on, get out the shower. No 20-minute shower. We got to hurry up and go to drop me off at BART. Like, it was just like go, 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 go nonstop. And now it's like, oh, I have nothing I need to rush for. Or I have nothing besides, like, I just need to, like, brush my teeth and get on Zoom. And so I think this virus has helped me to be in the mindset of, like, how do I take this one day at a time and look at each day as a blessing and find gratitude in what each day has in store for us. And I think that's been such a beautiful thing that has given me a lot of peace of, like, as Patrick was saying, like, being able to give yourself permission to rest, which was so hard for me. And it was like stress was starting to literally manifest in my body with, like, joint pain. And now getting to the point where I'm like, I'm able to sleep. I'm able to take my time. Like, I'm noticing my mental health feels great. My physical health feels great. My relational health with my husband, we're having so much quality time. There's so many things that I feel like because the media has our attention on panic, avoid people, don't do this, think about this, watch this. Like, it's so much extra noise that we can be so clouded to not see the things that are right in front of us that we can have gratitude for. So I think in this time, having a mindset of gratitude and just taking things day by day has been so crucial for me in just maintaining my peace.
Yeah, definitely. And we want to acknowledge that there may be some of you who are listening to this podcast and the COVID-19 virus could be impacting you in a very negative way. There could be someone that you know, a loved one or a friend who has been impacted by the COVID viruses, or even someone who may has lost a job because of this and during this time. And there are a large amount of people who are now without jobs and have been laid off and are away from work, or you may have possibly had contact with someone who has the virus, and because of that you've had to quarantine yourself and isolate yourself from your friends and your family, and you could be living on your own and now you don't have access to people and be able to socialize and connect. And so we recognize that there are a lot of people who are going through a lot of drastic changes during this time and may be impacted in a negative way. And so we're not saying that even during this time, this virus is all good and that, you know, it's just a little mini vacation you get to take. But I think what we're saying is that we've recognized that during this time, though there are a lot of things that we would love to get done and a lot of things that we would love to do, and we have set our mind and our heart and our plans on doing, that it can't get done. And even though it can't get done, that we've recognized that those things that needed to get done were a means to finding happiness. They were a means that, like our job, the classes, the school, the task, all that stuff is to get done so that we can be happy and we can have these things taken care of so we can be happy. But I'm happy right now. Like the truth is, like I'm happy right now. And so maybe I don't need all those things, and maybe I don't need to be at work right now. And if I happen to be lucky enough to be in a city that has put a rent freeze out, and so we don't have to pay rent right now, or that my stimulus check might be coming from the government pretty soon, or I have family or people who are supportive, and maybe I still have my job and I'm still able to work during this time, that like we can be grateful for the little things that we have and really realize like, man, this is okay. This makes me happy. It reminds me of the story that actually I think Tim Ferriss shared on his things. And it was a man, I'm not going to use the accents he used, but it was a man who was like working like crazy, super busy, and he finally got some time he finally got some he like hit a breaking point, and his therapist was like, yo, you need to take some time off. I'm prescribing for you to go to this little island off the coast of Mexico. You go stay at that island, you stay there, and you take some vacation. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. He goes to Mexico, and he's sitting out on the beach, and he sees a man out there fishing on his boat, and the guy comes in, and he's like, hey, what were you doing out there? I saw you out there. He's like, oh yeah, I was just fishing. And he's like, oh, you were fishing? And he was like, yeah. He was like, what, did you catch anything? Yeah, me and my son, we caught all this fish. He was like, oh man, tell me about your life. What do you do? He's like, I wake up early in the morning. I go and I get my son, and we leave and we go fishing, and I fish all day and I catch some fish. Then I grab the fish and I take it back to the market and I sell that fish. I make my money. I go buy some dinner. I come home. I drink some wine. My wife makes us delicious dinner. I play the guitar. We dance. We laugh. We go to sleep. I get up and I do it again. And the dude was like, oh, come on, man. I got a plan for you. He's like, okay, tell me, senor. So he's like, all right, go for it. So the dude was like, yeah, this is what you do. You take your fish, you go, you save up your money, you sell your fish, you save up some money, you buy a couple boats. He's all right, and then what, senor? And he's like, all right, then after you buy you a couple boats, you get some more guys working for you. You go out there, you fish, you make some more money, and then you take that money and you buy some more boats. Okay, then what, senor? Then you get some more guys, you start building that up, and the next thing you know, you go and you actually get a fish processing place where you're able to deliver all the fish there and distribute it to all the markets around. Okay, and then what, senor? And he's like, well, then after you start doing that, then eventually you just go and buy yourself a market and you become the place where people can buy fish. Okay, and then what, senor? And then he was like, and then after doing all that, you start to sell to the United States and you start making all this profit, and all of a sudden you start making all this money. And then what, senor? Then you make so much money that you just go buy you a house on an island and you fish and play the guitar and drink wine all day. It was like,
that's what I'm doing now.
The dude froze. It was like, I guess you're doing it. All right, never mind. But it's like, it's so crazy because it's like we get caught in this cycle so that we can just chill, hang out with our family, listen to music, eat good food, and just hang out. And so we bust our butt and get into the rat race to be able to do that. But right now we're presented with that opportunity to be able to do that. And sometimes we can miss it.
Yeah.
Like we can miss this opportunity, that this could be a time where you get to be able to do have that honeymoon time with your spouse, be able to hang out with your kids and get that one-on-one attention with your kids that you never would have got before. And so like right now I could take this opportunity to bust my butt to create something new, or I could enjoy like everything that I would do. All the work I would do is just so that I'd be able to finally have some time to be able to do this.
Right.
So why not do it?
Yeah. And like you were saying, I know some people feel like, well, how can I be in a state of peace and contentment and enjoyment when I have lost my job and I don't know how things are going to get taken care of, or when there are these like my family members have been impacted and now like I don't know if they're going to be okay. Like there's so many things that can cause that feeling of like stress and anxiety in the midst of this. And so we definitely want to validate those feelings and validate those concerns. And we believe that there is an opportunity to have a choice to choose something for yourself that can uplift you during this time. Not saying you need to cancel out that experience of feeling anxious or uncertain or whatever, but us being Christians, we really find a lot of hope and certainty in not having any certainty, because that's what faith is about. And so we want to encourage you that whatever it is that you're processing right now, that our principles, our success principle of BSPF, it works during this time of redefining what success looks like for you. So whether that's with like Brace, even though we don't have access to or to get close to people in physical proximity like maybe what we're used to, how can you brace yourself with people right now that are, whether it's virtually or whether it's 6 feet distance, whatever it is, that are able to encourage you and hold you during this time? Or even being around people who aren't talking about the coronavirus, because we know how inundated everything is right now with the coronavirus. And sometimes it can feel like, okay, I just need a breather. I need to be around people who are a little bit more positive, people who don't feel like the world is ending, whatever it is that you need. How can you surround yourself around people right now to be able to keep you supported during this time?
Definitely. And I would say, like, even for me, something that I've been thinking about was this whole movement that was started is napping as resistance, and how people have been kind of taking to this idea of napping. Not that napping is some new idea, but really, I mean, it's almost been forgotten in this society. It's something that kids do, and then we get older and, you know, we don't do it maybe until we become seniors. Yeah. And we do it. It's almost like we have to work to nap.
Well, I do it. I nap. You don't like naps.
I know. I hate it. And it's probably because society has ruined me to be that way. Yep. But I think that a lot of times there's this great quote. I don't know who said it, but it says, resting isn't something that you need to earn. When I want to lay down and take a nap, that's a calling. And like, I'm
going to start saying that to you when I'm tired. I'm feeling called right now.
It's that Christianese. I'm feeling called to take a nap right now. But seriously, I think that there's something about it. I mean, even biblically, like there's this whole thing about Sabbath and about rest, and that there's wisdom in it, that we often run ourselves crazy just trying to accomplish and get things done, and that if we don't actually take the time to rest, that we're literally destroying our bodies in a sense. And I think that capitalism has created this society that makes us believe that we shouldn't be resting, that we shouldn't be napping, that we shouldn't be taking the time to chill. And I love the fact that, like, in Spain they have siestas. Like, they take straight up siestas. They just nap in the middle of the day. And I want to start that. I feel like COVID 2020, or is it COVID-19
in 2020?
COVID-19 in 2020. I feel like we need to start a new movement. Like, we got to take naps. Like, we're going to go to social media and, like, all together, all across the world, everybody just nap at noon. Yeah. Or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe from like 12:30, everybody takes a nap. At 12, you eat your lunch, get your food, and then at 12:30, everybody takes a nap together. And like, I wonder, like, if it would shift the world, because what it means is that we don't need to get this stuff done. We don't need to make another dollar. I deserve to rest. Like, I deserve to chill. And I feel like it's a resistance against, it's not just when one person takes a nap, but imagine 40 people just getting together to take a nap.
You take a nap. You take a nap. You take a nap.
Like, how that would, like, change the world, because it's like not everybody's hungry and striving to try to get all this food, but we actually, like, we get what we need and then we chill. Yeah. Like, we chill. It's like there's the new movie out on Netflix I want to watch called Platform, where it was like there's this food coming down the hole, and then there's like the dude was like, oh, there's plenty of food for everybody to eat, but if everybody just ate what they needed,
right,
then the people at the bottom wouldn't starve to death.
Right.
But it's like people can't help it. It's like I gotta get as much as I can.
And that's what we see happening in the world right now.
Right. That's what happened
Everybody
with toilet
going
paper.
to Costco and getting all the toilet paper.
Right.
Like, and then there's people left with no toilet paper.
Right. It's like, has your booty hole doubled
Okay.
in size where now you need more toilet paper?
No,
Do you got 2 booty holes now?
Okay.
Like,
Anyway.
but no, think about it. It doesn't make sense. And I think it started because there was this whole idea around like China, a lot of toilet paper comes from China. But like at the end of the day, you're not going to use more toilet paper, yo.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to use more toilet paper. Like leave enough toilet paper for everybody to use it, but we get so anxious and so much anxiety and fear that I'm going to be without, so I take from others so that I can have,
Right.
and then it leaves other people in this negative spot. But I really believe that if we took on this mindset of like, yo, it's okay to just take this time to rest and be with my family and enjoy this. And maybe I can't go on that trip I wanted to go to. Maybe I can't, go to the movies and do all this stuff, but I can be at the house with my family and we could chill.
Right.
I can download the Netflix party app, not a plug for Netflix,
Yeah.
but like I can download it and me and all my homies can watch a movie together and we can, like Zoom together, whatever. Like this is an awesome opportunity, I feel, for us to like get back to gaining sight of what's important again.
Yes. And I feel like what you were talking about, like, I wonder what is happening in other places and spaces that are not individualistic cultures like
Sure.
America is. Like in collectivist cultures, are they hoarding toilet paper, or are they getting toilet paper for their whole family and
Right.
everyone's sharing it? Like, like what's really happening in terms of how people are choosing to protect themselves during this time.
Definitely.
And so it makes me think about like back in the Bible days, like in Acts, the way that people lived and survived was, okay, if I'm rich, I'm going to give my money to someone who's poor so that we all have our needs met.
Oh, this is the church. Yeah.
Right.
The church during those days.
The church. And so like right now we see the church rising up worldwide where people are doing like, like the Currys are doing the home and heaven or the worship services and bringing like worship leaders all over the world on Instagram.
It's like, I just feel like it's such a waste because Instagram's sound quality is terrible.
Oh my gosh. No, but it's just amazing seeing how people are really like partnering together to support people, to encourage people, uplift people during this time. And it's like, why didn't we have this before? Like, why is it that in a moment of crisis, I mean, it's great that in a moment of crisis, it brings people together.
Sure.
But there are also those people where it's like, I have to take, I have to protect, I have to like hoard whatever is mine so that I'm okay. But like, what would happen if we kept doing what we see, like, let's just say the Currys doing, where they're thinking of giving to others during this time? How can we like support and encourage others during this time? And it makes me think about like, we are very blessed that Patrick still has a job right now at the time of this podcast being recorded. And so what would it look for us to give to people during this time who have lost their job? Even though we want to be like, oh, let's save all the money we can.
Right,
like, how could we be givers in a time where everyone wants to be a taker right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think what you're talking about runs so like fundamentally deep in what's happening in the world today that like if enough people were to just change. I remember there's this dude named David Icke or something like that. He's like some conspiracy theorist. He's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like none of this stuff made sense to me. But he went through this whole thing where some of this stuff some of the stuff he said makes sense. He was saying that the world is not designed for us. It's not designed for the 99% or whatever. It's not designed for us to win. If you look at it, why is it that you can go to school and spend more money on your education than you'll actually make from your career? Or why is it that you can't pay off these loans? And why is like all these things aren't designed for us to win? And then he starts to go into lizard people and all this other crazy stuff.
That's weird.
Which is like, that is weird. But then at the very end, he gets to this whole, I kid you not, it was like 8-hour lecture on all these conspiracy theories. And at the very end, he finally gets to the very end and he says, I want to tell you how you can overcome like all of this, like all this stuff that's set up against you. I want to tell you how you can finally beat the system.
How?
Let me tell you, after lizard people, after talking about the government, and we live in this holographic, like algorithm type world and all this different stuff. You know what this cat said?
What?
The only way that you can beat the system is by loving each other. This cat went from lizard people and all this other stuff
To love.
to saying the only way you can beat the system is by loving each other, because the system is set up on a system of oppression. It's set up on a system of oppression. It's set up so that we need, or we want. And so because we want, we are going to make it harder for you to get so that it's easier for us to have. And then if you want to win, you got to make us richer so that, and in making us richer, you got to make other people poorer so that you can go up too. And it just continues to happen that way. It's like, as long as you continue to push us up and you continue to push other people down, you can win in this system. But how do you break the system? You do the opposite.
Oh.
Instead of pushing other people down so you can go up, you start to pull other people up, and you start to support other people and love other people. And you think about the way the world is like, how this all is happening is like how expensive it is for us just to have healthcare, how hard it is to be able to like to survive in this country, in the Bay Area, to be able to have a home and all these different things. When you think about like the immigrants that are in this country who are being mistreated and abused and kicked out and not allowed to given these opportunities for healthcare and all these different things, that like we oppress all these different people who now, these people who are on the lower rung of society are now more susceptible for diseases and sicknesses, right? Now, these people are carrying the sicknesses, and because they can't get the health care that they need, guess who's getting sick? Everybody. So even the rich, all these different people are getting sick because we were selfish and didn't want to give to everybody and allow everybody to have. And so what would happen if we flipped the script? What would happen if all of us looked at our neighbor and said, how can I support you? How can I get you? What would happen if we went to the store, maybe we got 2 packs of toilet paper and we went and we gave it to our neighbor? What would happen if we start asking our neighbors if there's anything that they needed? Like, are they missing out on anything? Let's support. What would happen if during this time we looked and we saw homeless people and we said, yo, how much even harder is it for you in this time? Like, you don't have protection. Let me get you some gloves. Let me get you a mask. Let me get you these things so you can be taken care of. Like, what would happen if we flipped the script and instead of taking advantage of like, let's work really hard and try to become a millionaire and become rich, what if we start looking at wealth and we started to say, I'm going to take the time, my wealth and my health, I'm going to really take this time to just love me and my family and support my neighbor and care for the homeless, the orphan, the widow, the immigrant, all these different people, and allow them to be seen finally. How would it shift our country back into a place where now, like, everybody is thriving,
right? Prosperity.
Everybody has prosperity, and we don't have to worry about some type of sickness overtaking the world because these people don't have access to good health care.
The sickness was in us the whole time.
Ooh, that's deep. Where'd you hear that from?
I came up with it just now. No, I mean, if the sickness is not the COVID-19, like that's not the real sickness. That's the physical manifestation of, I think, greed, of oppression, of injustice, of discrimination, like all the things we've been seeing. And it's easy to put it all within one person, aka Trump. And not to get political or to say if you believe in Trump or if you don't believe in Trump, whatever it is.
Believe in Trump. He doesn't exist.
But I think it's so easy to use Trump as a scapegoat to say, this is where all of our problems come from. It's coming from him.
And then imagine, like, for him to do the same. Like, he feels the world wants to blame him. So he's like, I'm going to blame somebody else.
Right.
You know?
So it's a blame game.
Yeah.
But I really like how you're talking about, like, flipping the script. Like, if we flipped the script, like, what would happen if generosity started overflowing? Or what would happen if we started being more intentional with our relationships? Or what would happen if we became more we focused instead of me focused? Like, all the different things that have made our day-to-day function, our weeks function, the striving, the achieving, all the different ways I can get ahead. And, like, kind of going back to what you were saying about, like, giving ourselves permission to prioritize our relationships or prioritize resting, or practicing gratitude while everyone else is stressed out, complaining, anxious, freaking out, whatever it is. And making sure you're surrounding yourself with people that either you can give to or be poured into, like whatever it is. How can we flip the script starting today, starting Monday, March 30th? We were supposed to be back in schools on April 7th, but it looks like it's May 1st. And even if that gets extended to even September, like, how can we maintain sanity and peace that is not given to us by anybody? The world doesn't give it, and the world can't take it away. So what does that peace look like for you? What does success look like for you? If your job can't define success, if you're not able to clock in, clock out, if you're not able to land that next position, or if you're not able to make that next dollar, are you defining success based on what your past, maybe 25 to 50 years of your life have been? Or can you use this opportunity of this pandemic, this time of being at home, to redefine what success looks like for you moving forward?
Yeah, that's really good. I think really what we want you all to take from this time is that this may seem like a terrible moment, and it is for a lot of people. But even in the midst of this, we can find gratitude, and that gratitude can make us very rich. And I think once we recognize that our gratitude is attached to how actually rich we really are, that we can have so much fun, we can have so much enjoyment, we can have so much fulfillment, we can have so much peace, even in this time of COVID-19, and really just kind of like change the way the world works. Like if we could just change the world, like there is enough. The fact that I found out like just they did research to find out there's enough food in the world for everybody to eat and nobody to go hungry, but it's the greed of humanity that makes people poor, and makes people like go hungry and make people die of starvation. The fact that COVID-19, a lot of the main problems of COVID-19 is not the actual illness, but it's the way humans respond, is sickening.
Yeah.
It's like literally like I thought that like, yeah, zombie apocalypse, it'd be good. Like I would do great in a zombie apocalypse. I don't know, because it's not the zombies that's the problem.
Nope.
It's the people.
It's the normal people.
It's the people. So what we want you all to take away from this time is that in this time you can redefine success for yourself. You may not have everything going on that you thought you would be going on, but this is an opportunity for you to do something that you would not have been able to do if society was still going in the same way that it was.
Right.
And even in this time, you can change the way we respond by taking a nap, by loving your neighbor, and caring for your family.
Being grateful.
Yeah, grateful, gratitude.
Doing those Zoom meetings with your loved ones.
Yeah.
There's something you were saying that was just reminding me of like what would it look like in this time if you, like, your mindset and your attitude and just like the way you carried yourself did not match what anyone around you did. Like, what would it look like if you did choose from today to flip the script and like taking one action per day that was like giving generosity in some kind of way towards somebody else, or giving yourself permission to take a nap, giving yourself permission to not be working on a project or finishing a book.
What would happen if you let somebody cut you in line? What would happen is, as you drove through the toll booth and you paid for the person behind you.
Right.
What would happen if you pay for somebody else's supplies? What if you bought somebody else some toilet paper?
Groceries.
You bought a random you just bought them some groceries, bought them some toilet paper, bought them whatever.
You just Venmo your friends some money, just saying, I'm thinking of you.
What would happen? Like, honestly, I think it's interesting when I'm driving on the freeway and I notice that I'm like cutting people off and like doing whatever, or motorcycles come by, I just keep driving and doing my thing. I feel like that's the same energy I see on the freeway. Like I see that same energy. But when I'm generous and I let people get in front of me, and motorcycles go by, I get over so they can go by me, or everything else like that. Like I think in California is the only place I don't know if anywhere else in the United States you can do that, where motorcycles can drive in the middle of the lanes or on the side, in between lanes. But here in California, that's something they can do. And sometimes you see people who don't care and like don't care and will literally like almost hit motorcycles. Mm-hmm. But when I see myself being generous and moving out the way and letting people over and everything else like that, I notice that people start doing it to me too. It's almost like it's weird. It's almost like a wave of energy that like I send out, and it also like comes back to me. Not that I believe in energy has like some type of like sense of being, or like has its own like.
Well, it's a biblical principle. You reap what you sow.
Yeah, no, for sure it is. What I'm saying is, I don't think that there is like some type of intelligence to energy. I think that we send energy and energy does come back to us, but it's not like energy is just the universe.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is, yes, the universe exists and God made it.
Right. That's where we stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the midst of this time, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with those that are around you. Don't have so much hard expectations on yourself right now of, I got to keep eating well. I got to stay on top of my YouTube workouts. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, it is okay to rest. We give you permission to take a nap.
Yeah.
We give you permission to, when everyone is crying about the COVID, that you can actually be okay and be at peace within yourself. You
got permission to chill.
Yeah. And we want you to know that we are thinking of you all, that you are in our prayers. We just want to bless you all and to let you know that we believe God is in control. And so whatever you believe, whatever you find comfort and hope in, we hope that during this time that you can find rest. We hope that you can find peace and joy. And we know that our God is faithful and that our God will bring us through this, that COVID-19 is just a season that God is walking us through. And we'll make it through when we're together. And when we're together, we're stronger. So we just want to let you guys know that we love you. You are not alone. And if you need any assistance, if you need resources, if you need any kind of support, we hope that you reach out to us. If you are our friend and you have our number, reach out to us. If you don't know us and you're like, I just found your podcast, email us at themillers@cocoplanmylife.com. That's again, the Millers with a S at cocoplanmylife.com.
Yep, we are always on that email, so you can always send us an email. We'll get it and we will respond. Or you can go to www.cocoplanmylife.com and click that brace button.
Send us a message.
We'll brace you.
Yeah. Oh, we hope that you guys are well. We hope your family is well. We are praying for you. And we hope that during this time, that you are able to remember what really matters, what brings you peace and joy during this time. And take care, and remember that you
have the power
to create
your
extraordinary
life
during the COVID crisis.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.